Hello.
Welcome.
How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome back to episode 19 of Boss Up and Tea. And this week we are going to be discussing Netflix documentaries.
On a
Monday, yes. We are one day behind, but it's because last week we forgot when we were recording that yesterday was Father's Day. So we were like, we might be a little busy, so we might need to record a day. Well, and then I told Tina, let's record. Well, let's, not record this week and we'll just record next week. She's like, wait a minute, I'm going out of town. And I was like,
I'm not going to be here.
I was like, dang it. I was like, okay, we'll just record a day late. If you can get it in your schedule, I can get it in my schedule for a Monday recording. So
we're here. I have a busy week coming up. So
okay, so where are you going?
We're going to San Diego for my birthday.
Right. That's right.
My birthday is actually next Monday, but we're leaving Saturday and then we'll be back Tuesday night.
Well, fun.
I'm excited.
And no kids, right?
Hell no.
June is such a busy month. It is so busy for me. I don't know if I said this on the last episode, but I've got my mom, I've got my grandma, I've got my dad, I've got obviously Father's Day. So it's just and we had my grandmother she'll be 85 on Wednesday, but we had her birthday party this past Saturday at my uncle's house. So
fun. It was happy birthday to her.
Yes, my nana.
That's
happy
awesome.
Birthday. We got all emotional. We all kind of said a few words
about
her on Saturday, and I kept mine short and sweet because if not, then I'll start crying.
It would have been a whole
and all that. So, but yeah, it was good. It was good to see some family. Would have liked to seen a few more people that didn't show up, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
is what it is. So, but how was your weekend?
Good. It was busy. Saturday I worked. I had appointments all day. Then after that, we went to a birthday party, and then we didn't get home till about 10, but I was exhausted. We went to Urban Air for the birthday party.
That place gets so packed.
And actually, it wasn't really packed. I mean, it wasn't empty, but it wasn't packed.
Which one did y'all go to?
Arlington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Waxahachie be packed.
And I didn't even jump, but me chasing Illy around, I was exhausted. By the time we got home, I was like, I was asleep. We got home at 10. I was asleep by 10:30, 10:45. I was out. I was tired.
I can't do those jump places.
Really?
I got bad knees. I'm old. I'm 42, so my knees do not cooperate with me at those places. I watch my kids jump around and stuff, and I don't gotta chase them. Like y'all just tell me where you're at and make sure you check in with me every so often. I'm gonna be right here. Yeah,
Daly was playing, but Illy, this is her first time ever going, so she loved exploring and she wasn't scared. She was jumping in the foam pit. She's so small, she fell in between the crack from the trampoline to the foam pit.
Oh my goodness.
And I got scared. I was like, but I was right there, like kind of watching her jump. And I seen her like go through. I was like, and I reached her. She's just like looking at me like, I'm stuck. Get me.
She says, Mama, get me out of here. Get
me
out of here.
That didn't stop her. She kept running and jumping. I'm like, girl, you're one. Calm down. Like,
she says, Mama, I'm 1.5. Get it right.
But yeah, and then Sunday we had lunch with my dad, and then I just came home and I took a nap, and then I was tired. Let me tell you, this is going to be TMI, but my dog, I don't know what the hell he ate Saturday night out in the yard. He had diarrhea all night. And I found out because I went to go get Illy some more milk in her bottle, and guess who stepped in it?
Oh, I was going to say, don't tell me you stepped in it.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was gross. And then in the morning when we were up getting ready
that's enough
for the day,
me just throw up.
Oh, look, and I don't have a weak stomach, right? But that right there, I was like, ugh.
There's not a lot that I don't think I have a weak stomach either, but that there's certain things that will just make me That gag reflex there
That-
is just like, oh.
Usually I'm good. I don't care about dirty diaper smells.
Yeah.
Like, not that I don't care. It's just, it doesn't bother me like
it doesn't
that.
get to you. Mhm.
But that right there had me gagging and choking, and I was
Oh, I
spraying
can
bleach,
imagine.
Fabuloso, Lysol, everything that I could.
But when it comes to something like that, like, there's no, like, getting rid of the smell. Once it's in your nose,
Yes.
like, it's like you're just covering more. It's like you're just adding to it. And
Yeah.
And it doesn't get better. It just smells like diarrhea with Fabuloso.
Yeah, no. It was bad. So I was tired. So after we had lunch with my dad, we went home, and me and Illy took like an 1.5 hour nap, and I needed it. And then the rest of the day I cleaned. But yeah, we had a good weekend.
Good.
But I have a busy week, so today we're here. Went to school. We're recording. Tomorrow, Illy has a doctor's appointment. Then I have my birthday nail appointment. I'm so excited for.
Wait, I'm glad you said that, because I wanted to start doing, like, when we record every week, do like a little nail check. Now,
don't check my nails right now.
no, but wait, I don't even have my nails done right now either. So my nail check is absolutely no nails.
I have 3. I told you, I just let them come off. I don't pull them off. But these aren't even lifted.
Okay, mine lasted forever this last time. The last set that Brittany did, they lasted forever. And I was like, oh my gosh. I even texted Brittany. I was like, girl, look, they still on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still
this
on.
one's barely starting to lift, but these 2 that are hanging on, they're not even lifting yet. Like,
so I think my next set is going to be stiletto. I'm on a stiletto kick right now with the stiletto nails. And I think I'm going to do red. Like, just, I may do some, I saw some the other day, some long stiletto red nails. And I was like, that's a vibe. That's a whole vibe. Like, not even like a lot of bling, not a lot of, designs, are not just red. That bright red. I was like, I'm feeling it.
I can see you rocking that. Yeah. I don't know exactly what I'm doing tomorrow. I just know that they're going to be neon, and they're going to be coffin, and they're going to be long and blingy. They're my birthday set. So
there you go.
Don't pay attention to my nails today.
Well, every week we're going to start doing a nail check.
Okay. So, usually, and Brittany knows this, when I get my nails done and I go on vacation, I always come back with one gone, at least. But
what should be doing?
I don't know. Every time. Hopefully this time I come back with all 10 on and in good shape.
When you lose your first one, I expect a text message. Be like, look, I lost it. I was doing whatever.
I'm not even going to know what I was doing. Probably.
She going to be them tequila shots.
I have a shirt that I got just for San Diego that says, oh my gosh, what does it say? Oh, let's drink and make bad decisions.
There you go. There you go. That sounds like a vibe right there.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited.
Well, I hope y'all have fun, be safe, and I can't wait to see the post.
I will definitely be posting
them Snapchat.
I was going to say, follow me on Snapchat.
Yes, on Snapchat.
I have my snaps filtered too. If you're a friend, you can see all of them, which is like my private story. Mm-hmm. And if you're not, then I can post to my public story. So if you're a friend, you're lucky. If not, you just get what you get and don't throw a fit.
There you go. You heard it first, Miss Tina. All right, so let's jump into this week's topics. We have a lot of documentaries to cover.
Yes.
I had told you about 2 that I had just recently watched. You told me about one that I binge watched this morning while I was working. Thank goodness I didn't have a lot of meetings. I was able to. And the good thing, what I like about documentaries is that you don't have to like visually watch them. You can listen to it, and
especially this one,
and know what's going on. So documentaries are really good for me while I'm working. They're good background. While I'm it's like listening to a podcast. Yep. You're listening to it. You're getting all the information, and so I binged watch / listened to I Am a Killer released docuseries on Netflix. And then I told you about the Ashley Madison documentary and the Dancing with. Wait, hold on. Let me get the.
I didn't get to
Dancing for the Devil.
That's the other one. I couldn't remember. I remembered Ashley Madison.
Yes.
But I couldn't remember the other one. But I did not get to watch it. So
I did my homework, ma'am. But you said you have other documentaries that you wanted to discuss as well. So
yeah.
let's start off with the true crime one, because the other two that I suggested are not true crime ones. Mm-hmm. So we can start off with the true crime one. And this one is a local one, actually.
Yes, it happened here in Texas.
Yes, so it is about Dale Wayne Sigler,
mm-hmm.
who unalived John Zettner. I
believe that's how you say it.
That's how you say his name.
In Arlington.
In Arlington. So this happened in April of 1990. He supposedly, he went into, because he admitted it. He admitted taking the life of John Zettler. He went into the Subway. It was a Subway, just a sandwich shop. And initially he stated it was because he was robbing the place. But he knew the guy. Mm-hmm. He was friends with him. And they said that, initially they said that he robbed him because he knew him and he was an easy target, and he was easily to, the guy welcomed him in, and he basically caught him off guard.
Right.
So he was sentenced to death in 91. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing about it is he actually, because of the change in jury selection, there was a law change, basically. He was able to appeal, and 3 years later, he got his sentence changed to life in prison, which he then became eligible for parole after 30 years. Mm-hmm. And he is now out of prison.
Yes. So I have a lot to say about this one.
Go ahead,
girl. Because the reason I love Texas, because we have the death penalty. I love it. I am pro eye for an eye, especially for situations like this. I feel like he changed his story once his sentence changed, which was not okay. So it went from, it was a robbery, he knew him, it was an easy target, blah, blah. Then he changed it to, it was not anything about a robbery or the money, that supposedly this guy was going to tell on him for being gay, but he said he had never done anything with him. That he had hung out with this guy, he slept over at his house, and one time he woke up to him
on top of him.
And that he basically told him, well, if you don't, then I'm going to tell everybody that you're gay.
Yeah, he said he was blackmailing him into a homosexual relationship.
Right.
Now, just like you've got a lot to say about this one, so do I. Now, my initial vibe off of him, and it's still the same vibe. Like, it's still the same. I get that feeling from him just by seeing him. He's lying.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's not he claims he found God. He claims that he's been rehabilitated. And we've talked about this before, whether or not somebody can be rehabilitated while in prison, whatnot. There's just something about this. I get that creepy, like peeping Tom feeling from this guy.
Me
just
too.
Seeing him. And this went, like, they don't tell you, like, he doesn't change his story in the documentary until I think it's like episode 3, the last episode, where you hear him say that he was being blackmailed for, claiming, the guy was claiming he was in a homosexual relationship with him or whatnot. My thoughts are that he did engage in some sort of homosexual activity, whether or not they actually, I believe he's one of those guys who was afraid to admit it.
Yep. And then I get it. Back then it was really frowned upon. I get that too. So I think that is the reason why he went and killed him, because you didn't want nobody to find out.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was because of blackmails, because you didn't want anybody to find out that you voluntarily agreed to have a sexual relationship with this man. And the way, kind of like you said, how you get this vibe, the way that he describes that he committed this crime, there was no remorse. It was basically like, to me, it felt like he was bragging. He was like, yep, I went in, I shot him, he turned around, I shot him a few more times in his back. Like,
So, yeah, and that's the thing. So,
executed this guy.
this guy, Dale Wayne Sigler, he unalived John Zettler execution style. He shot him in the chest, and then when the guy, I guess, fell over, shot him more, I believe, in the back of the head.
Yeah.
So that it's
I think it was like 7 more times or something like that. It wasn't.
I think it was 6.
6, yeah, but it wasn't just like a one more time. Like, no, you shot him a few more times, at more than a handful of more times, to make sure that he was dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand that. How do you claim that somebody's blackmailing? Like, to me, that reason right there is not reason enough.
No.
That was out of anger. That was out of...
If you felt if you felt like that, you should have just whooped his ass. Threatened him that way. Beat him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, not okay, but if you want to do something like...
Okay, but if you start telling people, oh, Cindy, you know, I don't know, you start making some elaborate lie about my lifestyle choice or whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay. And you could go out there saying that, you know, I'm using drugs or whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, and
yeah.
What's that gonna? I know the truth. The people closest to me know the truth.
But I think it's different with men because they have these egos.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you could,
and especially back then in the 90s, it wasn't. I mean, times were just different back then. Like the homosexual community, it was not the same as it is now.
Right.
People weren't as accepting as they were.
For example, Bruce Jenner. Yeah, he's always been like that until it was quote unquote okay to come out, and so now he's trans, right? I mean, that's what he is. What? Yeah. But Bruce's example back in the day, he in one of his documentary, actually, he said that he would take Kris Jenner's clothes and put them on when she wasn't there, and he would wear.
And she knew.
In her underwear. I think I would know if someone was wearing my underwear. Yeah.
Especially your husband.
Right.
Yeah.
So
now, what are your thoughts on, because so he was in prison in a different state than his family was, and his mom became ill and she wasn't able to go visit him. And one day at visitation, one of his friends, his prison buddies, like his stepmom is there visiting him, and he's introduced to his friend's stepmom, and her name is Carol, and they begin this pen pal relationship, and she starts visiting him, and he actually lives with her now, and he calls her Mama Carol.
That relationship is weird. It's more than a son-mother relationship.
What were your feelings when he was kissing her on the lips? Like, when they see each other, like, he gets out of prison and they kiss each other on the lips. Not a passionate kiss. It was a peck. It was a peck. But the feeling was, I'm telling you, he gave me creepy vibes.
That's what I'm like. That relationship's weird. It's more than a mother-son relationship. One, I stopped kissing my own kids on the lips at a certain age. I can't say, like, by age 7 I stopped. But by a certain age you stop.
Yes.
But let me just put it like this. For example, there's a lot of kids, not a lot, but there's a few boys that my kids have grown up around that I call my extra sons, my extra kids, because I love them as if they were my own kids because they've grown up with each other. They're becoming young men now. And I love some of these boys, and they know, they even call me mama. But you're not my child that I birthed, and I would never kiss one of them on the lips.
Nope.
So
like
I can't
there comes a point in
imagine
time where you
kissing
stop.
a strange, not a strange, but technically a stranger that you adopted as your son, or you see as your son now. You're not my own blood.
Right.
And to kiss you on the lips, that's a no. That's a no for me. No.
Even her family was like, do I trust him? No.
No. Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you guys have not seen this documentary, please do. It's very interesting I guess it's a little bit more interesting for us because it was in our neck of the woods in Arlington. But the whole thing in general, just seeing somebody go from being sentenced to death row to changing it to life, and now he's out after 30 years.
That is crazy. I mean, I think for other situations or other crimes maybe, but even in that situation, I think the least it should have dropped down to was life with no parole, with no chance of parole.
I agree.
But to allow him to come home when he executed this man, and he can say he's a changed man and he found God and all this other stuff, but no, you executed this guy. It wasn't like
it was premeditated.
For sure, exactly.
He even said he went there with the intention of killing this guy.
Yeah.
So it was premeditated. It wasn't a, what do they call, crime of passion. It wasn't, he didn't have a blackout moment. He went there intentionally.
Yep. He knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing. He had a purpose. And it was all because supposedly, the guy was blackmailing him. And maybe it was false accusations. Maybe it wasn't. We don't know. The only people that know are going to be him and John Zettler, the man he unalived. So very interesting documentary. You know what? I'll give it to Netflix. Netflix, they be spot on when it comes to some of these documentaries.
A lot of people are like, about Netflix. Like, even my niece, she was like, okay, I got Netflix finally, but I can't find anything to watch. And I was like, hold on. Because like I said last time, when I get my downtime and I just can't go to sleep, I'm the one that I can't just fall asleep right away unless I'm like really, really exhausted from a long day. But I have to wind myself down, and that's my only me time. So I try to throw on Netflix, and I will flip, and I'll click, and I'll start watching something. If it seems good within the first 30 minutes, I'll keep on. If not, I'll go move on to something else. But I gave her a whole list of things to watch that I've already seen. She was like, dang, you've seen all this? I'm like, I don't know where I find time, but yeah, I've watched all these. But I go straight to like the true crime, the documentaries, because
I love true crime documentaries. That's
me too.
That's my I just love seeing. Not that I love seeing people.
I think I like it because it's real.
It's a psychological thing. Like I like seeing. Like it amazes me how different people can be. And so this is, we're going to shift gears and go into Dancing for the Devil, because this one really, like I said, it's a psychological thing. It intrigues me on seeing how people can get pulled into situations. Okay. So the premise for this, there was two sisters, the Wilking sisters. Okay. They are about 2 years difference in age, but they grew up very close together. They're both dancers. One of them moved out to LA and went on the show Dancing with So You Think You Can Dance. Okay. She auditioned for that. She made it on the show. She didn't win, but she was on the show and she was out there auditioning. Well, then the other sister moves out there with her, and they are auditioning together, and the people are telling them, hey, y'all are sisters, yes, but y'all can't really audition together, even though they kind of look like twins. Like they look very similar. They would dress alike, and so then they're like, this is a day and age of social media. Right. So they build this pretty big platform on social media, and they're making YouTube videos and, left and right. Well, then all of a sudden one day they get a message from a dancer, and his name is, so he goes by the name of B Dash, but his name is James Derrick. Okay. And the sisters' names are Melanie and Miranda. Miranda was the one who moved out there initially, and then Melanie moved out there with her. So they're making videos together, all three of them now. Okay. And the Melanie, she's the one who's talking about her sister Miranda. Okay, it's her and the parents making this documentary, and they have a conversation, the three of them, Melanie, Miranda, and B Dash, and they've got this group chat going. Well, then one day she's out of the conversation, like they remove her. Well, the sister gets pulled into all of his friends and hanging out, and they're all dancers.
Yeah.
All of his friends are dancers, and one of his friends' name is Isaiah. Well, Isaiah's dad is a pastor. Mm-hmm. His name is Robert Shin. Well, he's surrounded by all of these dancers all the time, and one day one of them, they go to Bible study with his dad, and so they're doing like these 2 to 3 hour Bible studies and whatnot. And one day, one of them is complaining about their management company, mm-hmm. saying, that they're not getting him any brands, they're not getting him any deals. And the guy, Robert Shin, is like, why don't I make a management company? Why don't I represent you? So he creates this company called 7M. Uh-huh. And because all of these dancers are around him all the time, he pulls all of them in. Mm-hmm. And he's providing them this house. Like, all they do all day long is create content.
Yeah.
And attend church. Now, let me tell you the breakdown of their fees. 20% is a management fee, which apparently is pretty standard.
Okay.
20% management fee. Then they have a 10% church tithe fee. They have a 10% man of God fee, and then the church expects them to give 10% offering. That's already 50% of their earnings. So they're only getting 50% of, say they get $1 million deal, they're only getting $500,000.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's a good deal. I mean, they're still getting money, but that's a lot of money to be given to the church. Like
50%? That's crazy.
Yeah. So 50% is going all to him because honestly, he's the one running everything.
Right. Yeah.
And
he's just breaking it down, making it sound good.
Yeah, he's just giving these different breakdowns. Now, all these dancers are in there, and they're all thinking they're going to church, they're doing what's right, mm-hmm. but all of them slowly get isolated from their family. Mm. And get this, you can't just go to the church like if they're having they have mass on Wednesdays and Sundays. You can it's not open to the public. You have to be invited.
Really? No, that sounds like a cult.
That's exactly what it is. It's a cult. So and that's where it intrigues me, is like how these people are so blind to believe that they're not in a cult. Mm-hmm. Because Miranda, she ended up marrying the guy, B Dash. She ended up marrying him. So they're still married.
To this day?
Till this day.
Wow.
She still does not speak to her family. Well, she was speaking to her family because her family went live on Instagram. And that's where all of this got big, and they gained the 7M, they got all this attention. Yeah. Because the parents and the sister went live on Instagram.
Yeah.
Talking about 7M, saying, it's a cult. We haven't seen Miranda. She didn't even go to her grandfather's funeral when he died. All this stuff. And
so does Miranda speak out and say why?
So the Netflix documentary came out, mm-hmm. and she posts all the time. Mm-hmm. And she looks normal. And there's people that say, well, I don't see a problem. She looks perfectly happy. She looks perfectly normal. But that breakdown does not seem normal. And not talking to your family when you were a very close family, what happens?
Yeah.
Something happens.
Yeah.
You don't just go from talking to your family every day to, I'm not coming to my grandfather's funeral.
Right.
I'm not coming to see you guys, and not speaking to your family for a year. I think mm-hmm. they went without speaking. And then finally they met in a public setting. But they said that it felt very forced. It felt very scripted. And she did come out and post a video recently, and it was also very scripted. And she won't give her parents her address. Her parents, I'll give it to her parents because they pulled some PI stuff They were watching her videos like on Instagram and or on TikTok, and they looked at the water towers like behind her.
Yeah, that's some stuff I would do with my kids.
And they found where she was filming at. Like they found the house that they were all staying at. And I was like, that's some damn PI stuff right there. Like looking at trees.
When it comes to my kids,
towers.
yeah. But I mean, that says a lot right there, you know, in itself. Like, you have concerned parents. So, like you said, what happened? Why? What, or who, or what happened that made you want to cut your family off? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, my family, I love my family, and sometimes I need a break from them, but it's going to take something major for me not to ever talk to them again. Yeah. Or, I mean, trust me, sometimes I'm like, you know what? Everybody's just too much for me. I'm just going to go move to a whole nother state. But then by the next morning, I'm okay.
So when I was 18 or 17, I moved away, got married at a really young age. And I didn't talk to my family for a year. And I'm very close to my family. Like if you ask anybody, like my family's, you know, that's my everything.
Yeah.
And it was a time in my life where I thought I knew everything. I thought, you know.
I was going to say, but your age plays a factor in it also.
Exactly. Now, it was. So
if you were to do that today, I'd be like, regular Cindy, what's going on?
Yeah. If that happens now, you better, I've been cloned or something.
You've been drugged.
Yeah. Blink twice if you're okay.
Right.
If you're not okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So for somebody to cut their family off like that, it just, to me, that whole document, it gives.
Do you know if it's still on Netflix?
It is still on Netflix.
Okay, I'm gonna look. I forgot the name. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget.
Yes,
Dancing with the Devil or Dancing for the Devil.
Dancing for the Devil. Now,
wow, look, my pen stopped working and it doesn't want me to watch it.
Here, there's a pen right there. Now, another interesting fact though, he's done this before.
Who?
The guy Robert Shin, the one that had the management company.
Yeah.
Now, if you keep watching the documentary, don't tell me it's not working.
I know. I just wrote Dancing for the Church.
Oh.
Complete opposite.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So
God said you better not write that name.
I know. She sure did write that though.
Look, and then my
she's got all kinds of scribbles over here. So they interviewed this other lady who was a part of this church. So the church's name, just for you guys, so you guys know, it's the Shekinah Church in LA. She was a part of the church before he started doing all the dancers and everything. And she has accused him of SA. And
that doesn't surprise me.
And he would tell these women that it was a way for them to be closer to God, that's what God wanted them to do. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And so there, and again, in that situation, there was two sisters. One of them, they were both part of the church. One of them got out, and when she was leaving, she called her sister and told her, I'm leaving. I'm coming to pick you up. I'm on my way to pick you up. And her sister said, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. And she was a part of the church for, I believe it was like 20 years.
Wow.
And you can see her now. She's the one who has actually gone to the police and is trying to press charges. But this man has still got his church going.
That's crazy.
He's been served. He's been like subpoenaed and all this stuff. But they can't get anything to stick.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Because nobody wants to testify against him.
Well, probably. She's willing to testify, but he's just got so many things, people in his back pocket that it's hard to, get anything against him.
That makes me want to transition into the documentary Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey, which is about Warren Jeffs and polygamy and the FLDS church. Now, I have watched, I think, almost every polygamy show and documentary. I watched Keeping, what? Not Keeping. Oh my gosh. There was another show. It was about Escaping Polygamy. That's what it was. I watched all the seasons of Escaping Polygamy, and then I watched the Keep Sweet, Pray,
Okay, I
and Obey.
saw that documentary, the Keep Sweet one. I didn't see the other one you're talking about.
Escaping Polygamy. That was just a show on like A&E a few years ago that I don't know exactly what happened. But I watched the few seasons that were on, and then they stopped, and then this one came out like a few years later. So I watched that. So that, what you were talking about that dancing for the devil, and I just hate how people are able to run these churches and get away with it. Warren Jeffs had 515 marriages, and when they tried to take him to court, he was only legally married to one person. But in their little compound, he had all these other marriages. But because legally he was only married to one person, they could not prosecute him.
So what gets me about these church cults, or, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, is it makes it really hard because there's so much bad in the world, and you want to believe in God, you want to have this faith. And I believe in God. I may not go to church as often as I should, but I do believe in God. I'm a Catholic. But there's so many people out there who are like, why go to church? They're all run. They all have, bad people who are running the church. You have people who are, what's the word I'm looking for? Not two-faced, but, dang it. I was gonna.
Well, I've also heard like people say every church is some sort of cult. I've heard people say that because it's a group of people believing and following a certain belief, and I'm just like, to me, that's not what a cult is. And like you said, you believe in God. I believe in God too, but if I choose not to go to a church but still believe in God, that doesn't mean I'm part of a cult. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't believe in that. And the way that they did things and these, where do they live? Oh my gosh. So I didn't write down any notes besides like the names of these documentaries that I've watched. But in the part where they live at, everybody is a part of it, from the sheriffs. They have their own sheriffs. The people that work at their post office,
their own little communities.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then they would preach that you have to obey and follow these rules if you want to be, basically, if you want to go to heaven.
If you want to be welcomed into heaven and have God in your life, you've got to do, this, that, or whatever. And
I want to know where it started from, because it's obviously, like, I can see it today. Okay, it's obviously something that's been taught, but where did it start where a grown man is impregnating a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old?
Yeah, where in the Bible does it talk about, forcing yourself onto a child? Because a 13-year-old is a child.
Yeah.
So how people can, sit there and say that's God's word, that's, what God wants you to do. God wants me to have, 5, 10, 20 wives, whatever the case may be. I don't, and that's where I go back to the whole, it's a thing with, a psychology thing, where how do people get manipulated into these kinds of situations?
And then these women allowing this stuff to happen with your daughters, like, I don't know. It's crazy. I will never understand it. I think it's sick, and how he's still manipulating these people while he's in jail. Like, they go visit him. He gives the quote unquote word, and then he's like, now go spread it to the community, and whatever he says, they believe. And in interviews, they're like, he's innocent, but it's like, if he was innocent, he wouldn't be in jail. Like, on multiple accounts. It's crazy.
But I'm all into the polygamy documentaries because I just think, and I think it's good for the people that have gotten out and they tell their side of the story, because they're like, we were brainwashed, we didn't know no better, this is what we were taught, this is what we were told that we needed to do in order to be accepted. And some of these girls that escape, their mothers are like, you're gonna go to hell for leaving, and they're like, it's no, we're not. So that's one of them. But did you watch and this one's a little bit older, it's not a new one, I cannot speak today. American Murder, the family next door of Shanann Watts.
Yes, that I did see that one with the two little girls and the mom. Yes.
Yes, so I watched that one.
Real quick on that story, do you think the other woman has anything to do with it? Or had anything to do with the?
Yeah, I don't think she's innocent. I think she had something to do with it. Now I don't.
So why do you think he hasn't said, "Hey"? Because I think her name was Rachel or something like that.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. It was the other woman though. Why do you think, if that's the case, if she was involved, why didn't he point the finger at her when it went down? Why did he take the whole rap?
Because he quote unquote loved her. I think he took it too far. Of course, I think that she wanted him to get rid of Shanann and not the girls, and he took it too far and got rid of the girls. And he knows that he took it too far, and he doesn't want to take her down with him for his choices. So he's taking it. I don't know. I just think I'm always gonna feel some type of way about parents that hurt their kids. Like,
yeah,
nothing in my soul is going to ever make me want to hurt my kids like that. Like, they get on my nerves, and I will ground them. I will yell at them. I'll pop them in the butt. Like,
yeah.
But to want to actually physically hurt your child. I mean, I don't even want to emotionally or mentally hurt my kids, you know? Yeah. So I don't care how much I dislike your other parents or how much I don't want them to be here or go away. I would never hurt my kids. So I don't understand how these parents that do this to their own child.
We constantly see it on the news, on these documentaries where parents are hurting their children or, you know, torturing them, like we talked about last week. So I like you, I don't understand it. I never will understand it. You know, hurting another human being in general, I don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, let alone a child. So, like I said, I find the whole
and the way that he does it, and I don't know, it's too much for me. Yeah. Like, you would take your own daughters in your car and then like up the oil thing, and that's too much.
There was so much thought put into it.
Yeah. Like these babies and these innocent babies love you.
Now, if it was an accident.
Yeah.
If it was an accident, okay. You know, have he would have had like a breakdown or something. But to actually sit there and think about it, I'm going to take him here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to wrap him, I'm going to make sure nobody sees me. Like, that's all, like, takes so much thought process into it that it's just, like, you can't give nobody a break. Like, those people should just, there's a special place in hell for those people.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
They have a VIP section.
All right, another one. Let's talk about another documentary. Let's do Ashley Madison.
Okay, that's the one I didn't get to watch either.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So, well, we won't spend too much time on it.
I am going to watch that one too, because I really do want to watch that one.
So this one is basically a online dating site it's a Canadian online dating site.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was established in 2002, and it's a dating website for married people. Now, it gained more attention in 2015 because supposedly there was a data breach releasing. So some hackers got into the database and they were threatening to release people's names that were on this site looking for basically, a side piece.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's what they're looking for. And so on the documentary, they interview people who were actually on the site. They interview people who actually worked for
If I was
Madison.
ever on Ashley Madison, I wouldn't want to be interviewed. Don't show my face.
Well,
That's crazy.
So the guy one of the guys that they interviewed, like him and his wife worked it out. Like she knew he was on the site, and she gave him another chance.
That's crazy because I believe that there's like, well, now 2024, like apps specifically for couples that are looking for someone to join them.
Yeah, that's not what that is though. That's for somebody who actually wants to cheat
Got
on
you.
their
Okay.
spouse.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is, but you pay for it. You pay for
Right, yeah.
this. So it's like eHarmony or whatever, or Match.com, where you got to pay for it. So this is another dating
But on
site
this
that
one,
you pay.
you're going in knowing that these people are married.
Correct.
Crazy.
Correct. Now, they allow you to pay a $19 fee, $19 fee, and they tell you that they are deleting your information so that if it gets breached, you will not be found. One of the employees who they interviewed on there, though, said that was a lie. They never deleted anything. All they were doing was taking the people's $19.
Wow.
Now, it doesn't seem like a lot for, one person, but
No,
if you
but
got
thousands, even hundreds.
whatever, that's a lot of money. And
Yeah.
he said they never deleted anything and that it was a lie. Another thing that people have said is that Ashley Madison lied and the data breach never existed, and
What?
it was all for publicity.
No way.
Because nobody knew who Ashley Madison was, or the site, unless you were looking for that.
Yeah.
Until the supposed data breach in 2015.
Wow.
And
This
they
reminds
had
me of the Kardashians.
right? They had employees go on and say that it was mainly men on the site. They didn't say there wasn't women, but a lot of the women profiles were fake, and it was Ashley Madison employees creating those
No
profiles.
way.
Yep.
What?
Yep. I'm telling you, you got to watch it. You gotta watch
Okay.
it.
I will.
So that one I thought was really that one wasn't like to me, that one was more funny. Like, like it's unbelievable that people would actually believe that, their information is not going to be found,
Yeah.
or they're, what do they say? What happens in the dark always comes to light.
That and I just feel like anything you put on the internet will never go away, no matter what you do, no matter if you delete it. This is something I preach to my kids. Don't get mad at someone and start posting shit on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, on your stories, talking shit about someone, and then you go and delete it, and then they get mad and want to press charges for threats or whatever, and then you're like, well, I deleted it. That can be retrieved. It can always be retrieved.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, the internet is forever. Like, I don't care if you hit delete and put it in the trash. It's there.
100%.
We can dig that shit out the trash.
All right, ma'am. Those were my documentaries that I recently watched.
I have a whole page. Well, these are just what I seen when I was scrolling through Netflix. So, let's see. Which way do I want to go? I mean, none of these are actually really. I was gonna say, what's the best one? Okay, so did you watch the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Of course. I am a huge Johnny Depp fan.
Me too.
And Amber Heard is another kind of crazy, ma'am.
She is. So I watched the whole thing. I was following it as it was going on. I was watching the lives
too.
when they were in court.
That's one of the great things about working from home, because, ma'am, I had that on
Me
TV.
too.
And, like, again, it was one of those things you didn't have to watch, but you could listen to it.
Every now and then I will look like, what? Yeah. And I think she...
Mr. Johnny Depp, let's just all go on record and say that man is aging like fine wine. Oh.
He is. He really is. Now, I don't think he is 100% innocent.
Well, no. I mean, people have...
I am still team Johnny Depp. I do think that he won fair and square.
Yes.
I think she's a psycho.
I think she's a horrible actress in court, especially. Fake tears, fake dramatic scenes. Like it was just. And then I was on the floor. And then I was on the dirty carpet. Like, what? Girl, calm down. Now you're doing too much. You could have just left it. I was on the floor. It was just
she did
all the reenactments on TikTok at that time when all that was going on were hilarious.
I could not get enough of the TikToks.
They were hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah.
So that's one that I watched. Yeah, Team Depp over here. What else? The Program. Now, this one is a good one. I did not. It's a long series, and this is one that you have to watch, not get distracted, which is one of the reasons I haven't finished it, because it's not one that you can just have it on in the background while you're cooking dinner and the kids are running around because you're going to miss something and be like, wait, what? What's going on? You can, but you can't. So the Program is about, you know how back in the day when we were kids, boot camps was a big thing. Mm-hmm. Military school was a big thing. You act this way, you act bad, you're going to boot camp. You're going to military school. Uh-huh. We're shipping you off to a boarding school. Okay, that's what this is about.
It's about a real boot camp?
Yeah, and I think it was in New York. That's where it was based out of. But they took everybody, all kids all around the U.S. So basically what it's showing is, you know, how you see on TV, the commercials. You have an unruly child, send them here. We'll get it right. We'll take care of it, blah, blah. Of course, you have to pay tuition and you have to pay all this. So really, it was a bunch of rich kids that were going because their parents could afford to send them there and pay for it.
Was it all girls?
No. Okay, but the girls and boys were separated. But then they had tiers, like certain tiers, like of things that they couldn't wear makeup. They couldn't look at each other. They were not allowed contact with their parents until they reached a certain tier. And if you said anything complaining about the program, then you had consequences. And they said a lot of the like brochures and flyers, all that, they made them smile, made them look like they were having a great time. That everything was false advertisement.
I'm trying to think of I saw one documentary that was very similar to that, mm-hmm. but it was all girls that they interviewed. They didn't show any boys, but it wasn't called The Program. It was something else. But it was very familiar. It was just like that.
Yeah. Yep. That one's good. So I didn't finish watching it, but yeah, that's what it's about. And everybody telling their stories and basically telling the story of how it really messed them up. And while the parents thought that they were doing something good, they weren't. And they were not allowed to complain about the program to their parents without consequences. And they had... So the building is still up, and it shows them going into the building. And what's even crazier, when they shut the school down, mm-hmm. they didn't take nothing with them. So they found old tapes from the security cameras. They found old footage of like the teachers beating the kids. They found paperwork saying what they're doing. Like everything was there, and I was like, if you know you were doing something wrong, I'm taking this paper. I'm going to burn down the whole school. I'm going to do something. I'm going to take these security.
Yeah, don't leave all the evidence.
Right, I'm going to take the footage.
So did they press charges on any of these teachers or administrators or whatever
I don't really know. I don't know if that they did. I don't think so because it's been so long.
Okay.
They did try to interview a few people. Most of them were like, they were unaware until they were employed for so long of what was really. So, for example, I got hired on as the office administrator, and I didn't realize how the school was being run until like 3 years in. And then I forgot the person that ran, like the principal, but that ran the program, he wasn't even certified in any type of education to be running a school. And then he was like, when he was done, he passed it on to his brother, who also had no licenses or certifications to be running the school either. So it's just like me and you saying, let's go run the school. That one.
Isn't it amazing how much people can get away with?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there's a reason why there's documentaries about that. There's a reason why there's documentaries about cults. There's a reason why there's... like people get pulled into this. People are again, it's manipulation. They're manipulating or lying to parents and putting them on in this program or boot camp, whatever you want to call it, and then taking their money and then treating their kids like crap. So it just blows my mind how all this stuff like is possible or was possible. The
I'm sure there's still stuff going on today.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, I don't know if it's like if it's as popular anymore, like boot camps and military schools, like to send unruly kids. I mean, I'm sure there are, but maybe it's not as popular as it used to be. What's another one? We're running out of time, but what else have I watched that's pretty good? The Sins of Our Mother. That's another one. Oh, no. You know what? Let's talk about this one. Take Care of Maya.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Okay.
That one was so sad.
Wait, oh my God. Why did my mind just go blank? Okay. We
talked about that one a little bit before when we talked about
I feel like I'm mixing it up. I'm not mixing it up. Take Care of Maya is the one where she was sick.
She was in the hospital. The mom...
And they wouldn't let her mom...
mom see her. Yes.
I had to make sure. I was like, wait, is it that one?
And then the mom ended up taking her
own life.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, so there was actually something really wrong with this girl. But they felt like, it
was the opposite of Gypsy Rose.
Right. They felt like the mom was really trying to just fake her illnesses. And then they cut her mom off. They wouldn't allow her to speak with her without supervised phone calls. And they wouldn't even let her go visit her. And I know they recently had court. And then
the family won the lawsuit against.
Yes, but it took multiple
appeals.
Because they didn't win right away, which I think is freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And poor girl, like poor her, because her mom was trying to fight for her. And they cut her mom off. And I feel like, you know how I am about fathers. Like, fathers are just as important as mothers, but there's nothing like a mother's love. And I feel like when kids are sick, there's just something in us mothers that our bodies can do.
Most mothers.
Real mothers. That our bodies can do for our kids that the fathers can't. Like, just... So, for example, when I had Dalen, I had him C-section, right? As soon as they took him out, I mean, he was breathing, he was fine, but they needed help regulating his breathing. And they came and they got his naked body and pulled down my gown and stuck him on me and kind of just held him on me. And they're like, we need you to help him regulate his breathing. And I'm like, with my arms out like, Jesus, like, I can't hold my baby unless y'all unstrap me from this. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, he's fine, but we need you to help regulate it. So we need his body touching your body right now. I was like, okay. And it took all but 5 minutes for his breathing to regulate. So I just feel like there's something in us mothers that we have when our babies need us, regardless if they're actual little bitty babies, that we can do. And so for them to strip her from her mother when she needed her the most is sickening. And then for her mother to get to the point where she just felt helpless, that she had to take her own life, is sad.
Yeah. No, I agree. There's so many documentaries. We could go on and on and on and on.
We really can.
And like I said, kudos to Netflix because y'all be on it with these documentaries because they are really good. And right when I think I've seen everything on Netflix, I'll find another documentary or something else. So I don't think I'll ever get rid of Netflix personally.
Me either.
So
I've thought about it. When they raised the prices, I was like, do I really need Netflix? I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah. I need my documentary fixed. So next week, just like Tina said, she will not be in town.
We
will not have an episode next week.
I'll be in Cali.
So
I actually won't be here the following week either.
Okay, I'm gonna. I might have to find me a co-host for an episode.
Actually, this was just like it just happened this week. So we're gonna go to Great Wolf Lodge. I was like, what's the name?
Oh.
We're going to Great Wolf Lodge on that Sunday.
You're gonna have to let me know how that is
I've never been.
I've heard, so when it first opened, I heard it was good, but I've had some friends go and they've given me bad reviews.
No way.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna tell you what the reviews were. I'm gonna let you form your own opinion.
Well, Dalen has been asking to go forever, and when we get back from Cali, excuse me, he's actually my husband's actually staying home for 2 weeks. So we're going to try to take advantage of him being home. So we have a few things planned because I was like, dang, as soon as you come, you're home for one day and then we fly out to Cali. Like, we got to do something. You know?
Do something with the kids.
So we're going to the lake when we come back, and then we're going to go to Great Wolf Lodge. Dalen doesn't know yet. I told him, I was like, we're not going to tell him. He's not going to find out until we actually pull up and he sees it, because he has been asking for Great Wolf Lodge for I don't know how long. And I thought about going to Epic Waters in Grand Prairie.
Ooh, I got a story about that really quick.
But
go ahead.
I looked at the price and I was like, for this price, we might as well go to Great Wolf Lodge. Like, yeah, no.
So that's exactly what I was going to say. So my son was invited to a birthday party there. Mm-hmm. I was going to take him, no problem. Of course, I have another son.
Right.
We were running late that day. My boys had a Boy Scout event, so we were already running late for the birthday party. We were only going to be there for like an hour. Mm-hmm. And I had a hell of a time. I couldn't find parking, for one, because they were having like a swap meet or something in part of the parking lot.
Yeah.
So the parking was limited. I couldn't find any parking. And I'm going round and round and round. While I'm going round and round looking for parking, I'm like, you know what? I don't even know how much this damn place is.
Yeah.
I looked up the prices and I was like, oh, hell no. I am not paying $100. That would have just been for me, because obviously my son that was invited wasn't going to have to pay. Yes. The parents had tickets for the kids or whatnot. But I was going to have to pay for me and my youngest. I'm like, I'm not paying $100 for 1 hour.
Yeah.
If we had been there all day, I still don't know if I would have paid that much money. That's a lot of money for a water park. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and my kids were having it was a bad day in general. So it wasn't just that I was being cheap. My kids were having issues too. They were having stomach problems, and it was just like red flag after red flag after red flag on us, for us not to go. So we didn't end up going. So I've never been, but I agree. Like, if you're going to go spend some money, you want it. So you're going to have to tell me how it is.
I hope we have a good time. So I found a good price on Groupon.
Okay.
And we got a room, like a little suite for 7 people. So that's going to cover everybody, like all my kids, obviously, because we got 5 kids. And it's going to cover for all 7 of us to go. We're only going to go for one night, but I think we paid like $280 or something for one night. But I'm like, for all 7 of us, that's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, if so, I don't know what the price is without me using a calculator, but 280, 300 divided by 7 is like, oh, what?
Girl, don't ask.
30, like $40 a piece, which I feel like is not bad. And it's more for the experience.
And it's for all night. And
then the thing too, you get to check out is at 11 a.m., but you can stay at the water park all day long.
As long as you're not in the room.
Right. Yeah, you just have to be out the room by 11. And
take your bags to the car real quick.
It says bring extra clothes so you can rinse off. I guess they have like an area like the gym does, like you can rinse off and change. It says bring extra clothes, but you can enjoy the water park till it closes. You just have to be out the room by 11. I was like, that's not bad. We're going to do that. So we're all going. So I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah, let me know. All right. Well, to our listeners, stay tuned. I might see if I can find me a guest co-host for a week. And
what's the next week? I'm like, what's happening the next week? I don't know.
We'll see. We will keep you guys posted. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram,
YouTube,
all of the above.
Give us a follow. Spotify.
Spotify. Yes, you can listen to us on Spotify. The whole episode on Spotify and Apple Podcast. So we will catch you guys. I'll probably do an episode while Tina's away. Just stay tuned. I got to see who I can find.
If you want to be a guest host, send us a message.
Yes, if you want to be a guest on the show, let me know. We can even do a FaceTime. You don't even have to be here.
Right.
So message me if you want to be a guest co-host, and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.